Welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And of course, this is the show where we demystify technology, your mobile gadgets, your computers, all the things around the mobile lifestyle. And today, I have to say, I'm very excited about today's topic.
Why is that, Andy?
Well, there's this whole world of smartphones out there, and for the longest time, it was the iPhone or nothing. But now...
I think BlackBerry might disagree on that.
That's not a smartphone, that's a communicator device. Nothing smart about the BlackBerry. At least, no, it's not. There's not. Come on, let's face it. I'm not gonna mince words over that. But what happened was Google said, let's get into the mobile space about 18 months ago and introduced the Android operating system, and it's become the competitor to the iPhone. And not only has it become the competitor, there is indications in the marketplace it's starting to actually overtake the iPhone in terms of market shares. It's caught up, and it's about to. So this is kind of the new smartphone technology that most people will have in their pocket moving forward over the next few years.
Yes.
So I thought, so there's lots of talk about this, and but one of the frustrating things about the Android operating system is that the carrier or your manufacturer won't let you upgrade the operating system when a new version comes out from Google quite as readily as you might want. Mm-hmm. But of course, here at Lab Rats, there is always a way around those naughty little blocks. So today we're going to teach what?
We're going to teach you how to root your Android phone.
Right, and that means?
Well, it could mean something naughty. In this case, it's something naughty in a different way. It's teaching you how to gain access to the administrative functions of your phone and do whatever the heck you want with it.
Yes, so. Not going to let the rules get in the way, as it were.
To heck with the man.
To heck with the man. Screw you guys. Anyway, not you guys, the other guys. The other guys that are making the rules.
They can't keep us down, man.
No, man, it's not going to happen. All right, so today we're going to take you through what exactly is rooting and how to do it and why you would do it as well. That's today on
Lab Rats.
Well, welcome back to Lab Rats. So before we get started, of course, a quick message from our sponsor, and that would be Hover.com, the domain registrar that allows you to register your domains and do more with them. Now, we just want to have a quick mention of these guys because, of course, they are probably the smartest, easiest to deal with domain registrar you can imagine. Forget GoDaddy, forget all those other guys, the discount, $6.99, $2.99, $1.99 dudes that, you pay your money and then you can never get access to your domains ever again, or if you take them away or whatever. Hover is like you call them, they answer the phone, there's no waiting, they're nice, they're helpful, and it's easy to register your domain and get your own vanity email address. So here at Lab Rats, of course, we endorse these guys wholeheartedly. I have my own vanity domain, technologytips.com, I own that, sidewalker.com, that's all kept there, and I run my web addresses off of that. My dad bought one, and he has his own company with his own vanity address with him and my mom.
Your dad doesn't strike me as being a particularly vain person.
No, he's not a vain person, but but he likes vanity email, so as opposed to daddy24 at hotmail.com. He's Greg.
That would worry me. Yeah,
it would. Yeah, exactly. It's not very professional, right? So if you want, your own domain and it's an expression of yourself, Hover.com is the place to do it. So go on over there. Here's a coupon code right here for 10% off. So you can use that and get an experience and get a better deal because you know us. You can, if you talk to the guys at Hover, if you call them, mention Andy and Sean. They actually know who we are, and you're gonna have a great experience. We promise. So check it out. Okay.
Yay.
There we go. All right. So let's get on with rooting your Android phone.
Yes, sir.
So let's start with the principle behind rooting.
Right.
We mentioned it a bit off the top, but why would you root your phone?
All right, so when you get a phone from your carrier or from the manufacturer, and I mean this is the case with Apple, this is the case with Android, this is the case with other manufacturers as well in the past, like Symbian. Typically, they have an operating system on there that's locked. So you, as the user, don't have full access to the phone because they don't want you to, as a typical user, have a bad experience where you go in there and delete some stuff in the phone that you actually need. So they lock it down, make you a basic limited user. So if you think of these phones as like a Windows operating system, you can have an administrator account, or you can have a general user account. What they give to you typically is a general user account. The administrator account is for the people behind the scenes for setting things up, installing the little Verizon logo, and all of that other stuff that they need.
It's almost like Dell dictating how, what version of Windows you have and how Windows is going to look, and not letting you do anything other than what they say you can do.
I mean, you can point as well to Apple, dictating how you're going to use your iPad and what kind of software you're going to put on. So it's the same sort of thing. So there's a lot of that out there, but there's a lot of people out there that are used to a more free-form, anarchic way where you can put whatever you want on the system, whether it's a Windows machine. And I think basically these are little Linux-based devices. So people that are more used to the Linux world will want root access to their phone. So root is a term that comes from the Unix and Linux worlds, where you have root access. The root is the basic directory. You have administration over the entire phone. So the administrator account was called root.
So we want to do this. We wanted to get past the standard carrier deployment of the operating system, upgrade the operating system to the new one, like Gingerbread's just about to come out. And, so you want to make sure that operating system gets on, because in some cases you're stuck with like 2 generations behind.
Yeah.
And it drives people crazy.
Yeah.
Why can't I have the new one?
The carriers, in a lot of cases, are working behind the Google development team, so they have something that's like you said, 2 generations back, and they'll upgrade it to the newer version when they get around to it.
Right.
So even though Google's marching full steam ahead, the manufacturers like Motorola or whoever, Sony Ericsson, that have these Android phones may have their own particular version for that phone that they don't want to upgrade yet because they haven't put the dev into it.
Right. Now, is there any other reason like why you would want to root your phone beyond changing the operating system?
Yeah, so if you got your phone from a particular carrier and they've locked it to that carrier, then by rooting the phone you have the ability to say, oh no, I'm going to use any SIM card I like. I don't want to keep going with Verizon. I'd rather switch over to brand X, or the other way around, obviously. So you can just put whatever SIM card you like into it and go. Right. Also, there's custom ROMs. You can custom skin the thing. There's applications that won't run on it otherwise because they're not available elsewhere that you can then sideload into it using your root access. So.
Right, I got it. And this all sounds a bit sticky, a bit, not quite above board. Are we cracking some sort of, is Homeland Security going to come knocking on our door and say, I'm sorry, you've rooted your Android phone, so you're coming with us?
Yeah, probably. No, they're not.
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal to do. What it is something that will put your phone into a state that was not the way the manufacturer intended it, so you may lose your warranty on the phone by doing this, or you may lose your support. So if you have a Motorola phone and you root it, they may look at the phone and say, I'm not helping you fix that. You busted it.
Right.
So the good news is that you can typically reverse this process.
Yeah, factory reset, it goes back to the way it was when you got it from Verizon or from whoever carrier you got. Now, I will mention too, we are not lawyers here. So if you are watching from a nation state somewhere, where we don't know the rules, it may be illegal in your country.
Yeah.
We don't know. So
consult your local listings.
We're basing it on North American, Canadian, and US-based law.
Yeah, here it's fine.
It's fine. But so it's just advice. So you check with your lawyer, or at least your lawyer's friend, or something like that, just to make sure you're not doing anything illegal in your country if you're watching from anywhere else outside North America. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's start with the process. I think that's the most important. Now this process is not simple and can be quite complicated.
It can be quite complicated, yes.
But so let's go over the basics then, shall we? So starting with, I guess where do you start?
All right, well, the first thing you need to do before you can do anything else with your Android phone in a personalized kind of way is you need to, as we said, root it. So there's a number of different ways we can do this. Our man Paul actually rooted a couple phones for us here. We've got the Google Nexus one, we've got the HTC Magic over here, and these have both been cracked and rooted, basically. Right. So there's a number of different ways that you can do this. There's the one specific one that's easier than the others. So we went over to theunlocker.com. There's a whole pile of how-tos there that'll show you ways that you can do this. And the one that we've used is something called Super One Click. Right. And that sounds actually kind of easy, because compared to a lot of the other alternatives.
Super One Click, you click once and it's done.
Right. So now
is it that easy?
It is that easy, apparently. Really? So there's a couple of caveats here first before we get into this. Number one, Super One Click only works on Windows.
Okay.
So others will work on your Linux machine or your Mac machine.
So you got to find yourself access to a Windows machine if you don't have one.
Yeah, so borrow your friend's Windows machine and get this done. Or if you have a Mac, for example, boot into Windows on your boot camp partition, and it can work that way. So that's one.
So where do we get that from?
From
theunlocker.com?
Super One Click you can get from theunlocker.com.
Okay, good.
And then you'll need to have the drivers for your device. So for the Android machine that you're going to connect to this and try rooting.
So you take your phone, get a connector, connect it to your Windows machine, and then run software. Oh, and then Windows has to recognize the phone.
Right.
So Windows can talk to it.
Right. So you use the typical connection, the USB connector, to connect to your PC, and then you'll need the drivers. Now, they may not always be readily available. So there's another site out there. It is PDA. PDA.net, and they have a program that you can download, and this is available for Windows and Macintosh. And what it'll do when you install this on there is it will look for your phone. You'll basically say, okay, I'm using this, and then it'll look for the drivers. Now, not every single one is available, but most of them are on there at this point.
It's like it assists you in finding the drivers.
Right,
and installing them.
And then it'll help install it for you. So then you're good to go when you plug it in, and then when
what site was that?
That was
PDA.net.
It's called PDA.net, and we'll put that in the show notes as well. So.
Okay, good.
All right, so now we're over at the Unlocker, and we're going to do this, and then we've downloaded the software, Super One Click. Now let's do it. So we actually had Paul tape the routing for us.
Oh, good. Okay,
right?
good.
So we show here. So he's got the phone right here. So you need to set the device into USB debug mode. So you're going to do that by going into Settings. Then you're going to go to Applications, and then Development. That's where the developers do their stuff. And then click on USB debugging mode. And then, of course, say OK. Then you're going to plug it into your computer. Don't do it before this point, obviously. I mean, you can, but it might not have the desired effect. Then you're going to run Super One Click. You've downloaded this from the site, and you need to run it as administrator. If you run it regularly, it won't work properly. Okay. Right? And then it's this simple. You just click root, and then it does the rest for you. And you notice up there it has an unroot here, so you can plug your phone in and unroot it later on and put it back to factory state. So it's going to run through all the scripts that it needs to give you root access to your phone.
Very good.
Yeah, so there's this one tab up there called Samsung Captivate. That's specifically for that phone. That's the only one that doesn't work that way. The other ones all work under Universal. So you see now it's done. And a super user command will now be sent to your phone, and you might have to select Allow. And there you go. Your phone is rooted. And now we have this phone here. And when you bring it down there, you have the super user icon over there on the settings.
Very good. I noticed actually that this program is free.
It is free.
But they note at the end they ask if you want to donate.
Yes.
So if it's helpful for you, it's always good to donate to the cause, that sort of thing, to help fund the if it's useful to you, pay your way.
Right. Okay, and another thing that's worth noting here, that you notice that we connected to the phone and we were sending over this. Now, how it does this is it is basically defeating the security on your phone. And because of that, if you have something running like Windows Live Essentials or another antivirus program, it may actually say, "Ha, you got a virus on your system, and it's trying to attack something connected to your system."
Oh, right.
So what you may want to do is you may want to disable that security software first.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Great. So that was the Google Nexus One phone. Now we decided, okay, we're going to try to root the HTC Magic.
Yes.
As well, which is a slightly older phone. And this one actually is quite a few operating systems back now. Yeah. And we decided, okay, let's see if we can get that up to something more modern. So we had Paul do exactly the same thing. And it's pretty much the same process. We've installed the driver files in Super One Click. He's going through here again, hitting application, going into dev mode, and going into the debugging mode, which is already on, rooting, and away we go. And there is one thing that's a slight bit different about this.
Oh, it looks like it's not happy.
Well, that's just the text that it uses. Okay. It's just computer language. It's happy enough.
That's right.
There we go. Automatic version check failed is 0S version 2.0 or higher. If you have an older version of the operating system, then it may ask you that. Just click OK and continue, and then away you go. So it'll root your phone, and now again you have the super user icon on here, and it is now upgraded to a more recent vintage of the operating system.
Very good. Fairly simple process. That's really good.
It's a reasonably simple process.
Well, good job, Paul. That's a series, a How Do I series, correct?
That is, I mean, we can do that later on, but that right now is just something he's done for us.
Oh, good. Okay, well, we should adapt it for the site and release it on the site.
Hey, Paul, you got a new job.
There you go.
Great.
More editing work for you.
Fantastic.
Okay, good. Now, there are pitfalls here. I know that we can run into some issues.
Yeah.
So I guess, first of all, Super One Click is only a Windows-only application.
Right.
So you can't do this with the Mac.
You can't do this with the Mac unless you're in Boot Camp.
Oh, Boot Camp, yeah. And
Yeah,
running
so
a version of Windows.
if you're running Windows on there and you can connect to the phone, then you're still good.
Yeah, okay, good. You need .NET Framework.
Right, so yeah, you will need the .NET Framework, so that is something you can get using your system update. So it may download automatically, or it may be an optional thing if you haven't installed it before. So go into your Windows Update from the Start menu, look for it in the optional updates if you don't see it there, and just make sure that it's up to date.
Cool, okay. All right, and we mentioned, that you have to get the drivers done and the virus issues, that sort of thing.
Right.
Now once you've rooted the phone, of course, now it's time to install a custom ROM.
Right.
Right. So basically a custom version of the Android system, whatever it's going to be. And if you get zipping on over to xda-developers.com, which is where they keep a lot of these guys, as well as what the Unlocker too, Paul. Yeah. A bunch of different places like that. Now we'll do another episode of this at some other point in the future, where you actually load in the custom ROM. But essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to download the custom ROM. You're going to put it on an SD card, and you're going to load it into the side of your phone. And you're going to install an app called ROM Manager. And ROM Manager is basically an app that allows you to call the ROM on the SD card, do a whole backup, store it, clear out the phone, put the new ROM on, and that sort of thing. So there's a bit of a process there. It's not simple, but not complicated by any stretch of the imagination. So that would be the next step for you. We will do a future episode at some point on how to do that, because I think it's very important you see how that's done. And also, too, the different ROMs available and which one you would choose and where you would find them and that sort of thing. So
right.
We promise to do that moving forward.
xda-developers.com, as you mentioned, is a site out there. They have a bunch of other resources out there, and if you ever get stuck while you're doing your phone, this is the place to go. It has a whole community there that can help you through that. So if you hit like a speed bump and something hasn't worked the way you hoped, then you can go on there and get some advice from people that have done this with this particular phone, that sort of thing.
That makes a lot of sense, and I imagine then not every phone you can do this with.
Yeah, there are a couple phones that you can't do this, or a couple phones at the very least that are a lot harder to do this on. So there have been ones that have been flagged as just like, oh, you don't want to do this. It's just, I think it's like the Droid X is like a serious problem.
It's a headache, yeah.
So you may want to read up on your particular phone before you go through the process. Don't just like run right into it at full speed. Find out what the pitfalls are before you get started, and just maybe check with the developers. Now, again, the Unlocker has a lot of good how-tos on there, so that it can step you through the processes. XDA developers can take you through more complicated ways of doing this. If you don't really want to go with the route that we chose here, then they have people that can help you with that there.
Very good. Okay, good. Very good. So yeah, that's how you root your phone and get a custom ROM onto it. Hope that that was useful for you guys, and as I said, we'll try to give you more information around this whole process moving forward in future episodes. So stay tuned for that on butterscotch.com. All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we got a clip of the week, and of course, your pictures. That's after this. Well, welcome back to Lab Rats. So now is the time in the show where we dance. Actually, no, it's not.
We're not wearing black.
I know, exactly. It's a veiled reference to an old Saturday Night Live skit.
Sprockets.
Sprockets. It's getting a bit dated now, I think.
At least that is.
Now is the time, though, that we won't dance, but we will show you a clip of the week. What you're about to see is a 30-second grab out of a new show we've got here at butterscotch.com called Android Weekly. And really, it's what's hot with Android, what's going on with Android, what's the news, what's the scuttlebutt, what's the gossip, what's going on in that Android world. If you have an Android phone and you're interested in this, this is the show to watch. It's hosted by the fabulous Andrew Moore Crispin. Does a lovely job. It's quite funny at times. And we're going to show you a little clip here on his 10 commandments around, I guess, the Android operating system, right?
That's tablets.
Oh,
Tablets.
10 commandments around Android tablets. So let's take a look.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
If Android tablets want to properly compete with Apple's offering, they need to play by the rules. Rules that, unfortunate though it may be, are set out by Apple. Etched in the slate that Apple trudged down the mountainside, it very clearly states,
"Thou shalt not maketh consumers balk at thy sticker price. Thou shalt offer but a few products and refreshest them every year. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's tablet. Thou shalt not worship false idols or graven images."
with the sole exception of the Apple logo. We'll be watching this one. Seriously, don't make me smite thee.
So if you want to check that out, you go on over to butterscotch.com. Of course, Android Weekly is under Butterscotch TV, released on Wednesdays at around noon Eastern time zone. So that comes out every week. And if you want to see the whole episode, I think we've got 3 episodes in the can by now, 3 or 4 episodes. So go check them all out. They're still all relevant, and actually they're doing a great job producing that show. So.
And there'll be a lot of news on that show in the next little bit as well. So by the time you're seeing this, if you're seeing this later next week, you might actually start seeing content from CTIA.
There you go. Very good. Oh, and also, too, if you're always interested in that kind of stuff, Butterscotch.com now has an Android blog as well. So if you click on news on the homepage, there's an Android blog. We have an iPhone blog, a bunch of other mobile operating systems. So, if you want to stay up on Android, we're becoming the nexus for you to come in and check that out.
The nexus. I see what you did there.
It's funny. Okay. All right. So there you go. That's the plug. So now my second favorite, my most favorite.
Your second most favorite?
It is my favorite. This is really a secret. It's my favorite segment on the show. It's picture time.
All right.
Picture time.
So let's get to it. So someone who's been waiting patiently.
Yes.
Our man Zach, who's in Fort Francis, Ontario.
Oh my
He's
God.
got pictures of his 2 chihuahuas.
Oh.
Rasta, who's the tan one, and Chloe, who's the black one in the back.
Oh, they're so cute.
So there you go.
Oh my God.
So and they're paying close attention. I think if you look closely in their eyes, I think you can see lab rats reflected in the screen of
Clearly.
there.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, so Zach also sent us a website link. This is the website he and his wife are running. Karma Knits. So there you go. You go freewebstore.org/karma-knits.
Zach, you should go on over to hover.com and register karma-knits.com if it's available, or karma-knits. Whatever, and point it to this. It'd be so easy, and it's going to cost you like nothing. And here's a coupon. This one coupon right here. See,
10% less than nothing.
10% less than nothing.
Or something. I don't think the math is working there, but
Wait a minute, it's 10% off. So use that coupon. Go do it, and then tell it when you've done it. Send us a note in. We'll show the site again, so you get a second plug.
There we go. Yeah, I don't think we've discussed that enough beforehand. Is that you can actually have a website pointed or hosted elsewhere and just point your domain there. You don't have to set up a new domain to have your own domain address. So
Hover offers that option for free as part of the service.
Yes,
that's why they're fabulous.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on. Last one today is our friend Mike from Oklahoma, who is driving down the road in his smart car and watching us during his commute, which could actually be illegal where you are, Mike. So I'm not going to say that you should stop doing that, because that means you weren't watching lab rats, but I would. Do you hear that? Oh, you better pull over, Mike. Anyways.
All right.
So there we go.
Yeah, that's great. So we love that. That's fantastic. Continue to do that until you get caught by the cops. And then don't do it anymore.
And if you end up in jail, you can call him for bail.
Not available. All right, good. Thank you so much for sending your pictures this week. Very, very fun. It's great when we see what's going on in the tech world in your life, and the pet world, cats, dogs, all that stuff. Thank you for sending your website in. That was really great. And you can email that too.
The cops are on your bumper right now, so you better pull over or there's going to be shooting at labrats.tv.
Yeah, lots to type out there. So we actually give you we have a shortcut as well.
Feedback at labrats.tv.
Feedback at labrats.tv will get you there as well. So thank you so much for sending your pictures in. If you have more, send them in. If you've been thinking about this for a long, long time and you haven't got around to it, send it in. Just send it in.
Send us a photograph of your rooted Android phone.
Yeah,
too.
that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah. Don't forget to tell us your name, where you live, and what you're showing in the picture as well, so we can give you due credit. All right. Well, thank you. That was a good episode. Very interesting. The Android world, I think, is about to crack wide open, and it's exciting to be able to bring those kinds of features to the gang out there in LabRats land.
There you go. Anything that we can do to help people create their own LabRats customized version of the Android operating system, I'm all for. So.
All right. Well, thank you for pushing play this week. It'd be foolish for us to be here rooting our iPhones, not our iPhones, rooting our Android phones if you guys were out there going, I want the new version of Gingerbread. I don't know how. All right, my name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And we'll see you next time.
Are you ready?
Go away. Go away.
Are you still rolling?
Oh. Broken!
Tends to be napping.
Okay, I'm done. Oh. No. Ow.